Under the Constitution, the legislative branch was made of two houses: the House of Representatives with proportional representation, that gave more representation to big states like the Virginia Plan proposed, and the Senate with equal representation, which gave more power to the small states like the New Jersey Plan proposed. So that was one of the many components of the Great Compromise. Now, when they structured this, the House of Representatives with proportional representation elected their representatives directly. So that meant you, if you could vote at the time, would be able to vote directly for the person representing your district in the House of Representatives. The Senate, though, did things a little bit differently. You couldn't vote directly for your senator. Instead, your state legislatures would vote for the senator, and they would basically nominate and send a senator to the Senate. So you voted for your state representatives, and then they, amongst themselves, voted on typically a representative to send to the Senate. In fact, they selected two, right? Each state has two senators. Now, this was actually a really intentional move to make the Senate not popularly elected, but rather appointed by state representatives. Why? You may have heard the story that this is all about elitism. And don't get me wrong, there is an element of that, right? The framers of the Constitution were all wealthy, well-educated white men. They certainly were elitist, and they certainly did want to protect their power and their property. Now, that said, there was another reason for the Senate to be appointed rather than directly elected. And that other reason was states' rights. A lot of the representatives at the Constitutional Convention were worried about giving the national government too much power. They wanted states to have more power, just like they did under the Articles of Confederation. So there was a concern that if senators were popularly elected, that would be a blow to states' power, because of course states sent their representatives to the national government under the Articles of Confederation. So this kept that. States had the power to select representatives in the national government. That was one of the big reasons that senators were not always popularly elected.